Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage, the much trailed changing of the fleet. So, what's happened? I think quite a few of you have guessed, Betsy is moving on. Betsy is our 1996 Autosleeper Trophy based on a VW T4 2.4 5-cylinder diesel. We've had her for about 2 years, I think, and she's given us nothing but joy, really. It's been great fun to tinker with her. We've had lots of great adventures with her. I've enjoyed tuning her up and making her slightly more sprightly. I've lived in her practically for work for 8 weeks, and it was a very comfortable way to do things. She continues to turn heads and attract nice attention wherever she goes, being one of the rarer auto sleepers. Quite a desirable vehicle. Those unfamiliar, it's a short wheelbase Volkswagen T4, but it has this huge overhang at the back, which is created by Autosleeper adding this extra section of bodywork, which does not exist in the Volkswagen range, and creating a shape that just looks right. And that extra length allows it to accommodate a full washroom at the back of the van, and then space out the rest of the facilities in the short wheelbase element. So, we're moving Betsy on, and she's going to a nice couple who are from Scotland, and I'm going to continue enjoying her. So, why have we decided to move her on? Well, it's certainly no fault of Betsy's. It's just about the current environment, and like an awful lot of other people, we decided for the foreseeable, we're very much taking our own holidays into our own hands and accommodation into our own hands. And we've got some bigger trips planned, bigger adventures if you like. And Betsy would have done that, absolutely. But for the time we're going to spend in the van, we thought we'd get something a little larger that was better able to do the whole sort of kitchen sink style approach to touring. Yeah, so COVID, we're going to blame COVID. So to cut a long story short, we decided to go from 2-berth, which is Betsy, up to a 4-berth, just to give us more space. And here she is. I'm going to pull her out. Her name's Ruby, and let's just put this in perspective. Play on words. I do love playing with perspective. Perspective, get it? Ruby's quite a big girl. So, Ruby, welcome to the fleet. I say she's a big girl. If you're in the States, you're going to be mightily unimpressed by her as a RV. But if you've ever been to the UK, you know that our roads really don't accommodate some of the pusher style motors that you guys have. So for European standards, this is pretty much as big as it gets before you make that jump into extreme. And your name's Lewis Hamilton, really. And if you've got one of those, fantastic, but you're not going down too many lanes. Ruby is a Rapido 9090F snappy, and what that means is she's a Fiat Ducato engined A-class motorhome. And the A-class element is an indication that she doesn't actually contain any van, lorry, truck bodywork whatsoever. The entire thing was designed as a motor caravan from moment one. And that means that her chassis is by Alco, which is a galvanized steel purpose-made motor caravan chassis, which has rear suspension in our case based on torsion beam, springing and horizontal dampers, as you can see. The Rapido factory would have been in receipt of a Fiat Ducato front end in terms of a cowl, as they'd call it, or bulkhead, with an engine in place, gearbox in place, and front drive line in place. And it also retains the centre section of the Fiat dashboard, but essentially that's it. Everything else on this vehicle is made by Rapido or their suppliers, and the link with Fiat really does stop just after the rear front wheel. The bodywork is a mixture. You've got the front panel, bonnet, and the lower panels, sort of wheel arch extensions and sills, in a form of fiberglass. It's a composite. And the side panels, unlike coach-built caravans and motor caravans of a few years ago, these are not aluminium clad panels. This is a polyester, a very tough plastic. It's self-coloured. It's bonded direct to insulation foam, and then sandwiched with tin foil and all the rest of it. So the entire side panel of the vehicle is about 3 inches thick, very strong, very resilient, and gives great insulation as well as a stiff structure. She only has a front door on one side. That's to retain heat and structural strength. On my UK vehicle, that's the passenger side. Has this nice logo and name, and that's French for Rambler. So she's Ruby the Rambler. And the 9090F is no more decipherable than if you're into BMWs. So I won't. But essentially, big one, particular layout, and F for Fiat. I'll share the details of her mini cupboards and lockers another day, because she's quite loaded. She's got a lot of features on. But I thought today I'd just reveal her to you. I do love that back panel. Something reminiscent of the Renault Meganes of the 2000s about this section. The bum, as they used to call it. I quite like that. She's got a roof rack up top, but no ladder. That was a choice of the original owner. who was concerned about security, and he used a telescopic ladder through the sunroof to get onto the roof. There's a Fiamma awning. And again, just to keep going in perspective or scale on these things, it'd be difficult. That's me reaching up, so the windows are quite high on this thing. There's a habitation door, as us motorhomists call them. No need for a step on this vehicle. The Alco chassis allows for the door to be very low on the side. She carries LPG tanks rather than bottles, so you can recharge her at petrol stations. Well, petrol stations that sell gas anyway. And there she is. 3 wipers on an enormous windscreen. I'll give you the quick tour of the inside. This won't be a detailed one, it's just a quick look round. Open the door. You can see the stairs that are kind of built in to the bodywork, because again the chassis built for the job doesn't restrict where you put the door. So this is the lounge area. Proper seat belted seats with anchors that go straight to the chassis. The seats are anchored to the chassis. Very, very clever how that's all done. I'll show you that another day. 2 captain's chairs, incredibly comfortable. Little chair there. The sort of ace card of A-class motorhomes like this is the size of the cab. It genuinely becomes part of the living area once you're parked. So you've got this hugely wide cab area. The driver is actually not that close, if I turn that way, to the window. In fact, you know, there's a cupboard there. No door on this side, sliding windows on this side. That side there is a proper opening door with an electric window, so totally different, asymmetrical. Fiat dashboard, and none the worse for that. Really quite nice layout, dash mounted gear shift, all the rest. And then again, an A-class feature, so not unique to this van, is you've got a double bed, excuse the noise, that just drops down from the ceiling and comes down to about that high, and it's a domestic double bed, so big by motor caravan standards anyway. Nice wood panelling everywhere, properly made furniture with curved elements. That's not my picture, that's the previous owner's yacht. And we're looking back the other way. Again, all this cabinetry I really like, because not only does that do that, 2 levels in each cupboard, but the bottoms drop down as well, and we're still working out what goes where. On the left we have a high level oven and grill. We have a freezer rather than just a freezer compartment in a fridge, and we have a domestic sized fridge. Ironically, it's made by Dometic, so it's a domestic sized Dometic. Right hand side, a galley or the kitchen. Really quite clever cupboards and cabinets. Huge pantry drawer with, quite importantly, bottle storage below. Cupboards and drawers. Domestic sized sink. Mixer tap. 3-burner hob. Controls for the central heating and water heating. Blown air, very, very effective, thermostatically controlled. Extractor with outside vent, filters, lights, all the rest of it, just like at home. We have a cupboard specifically made to mount your TV in. Down here we have power outlets, boosters, the connection to the aerial that's on the roof. This thing sort of slides out if you know what you're doing, and you put your flat screen on it. Then we've got, I should turn myself around a bit, the rear bedroom, domestic sized double bed, island bed layout, so you can walk around both sides, with wardrobes above and to the sides. Really nice, comfortable mattress with giving that a little test. In the corner of the bedroom you have a separate shower. And over here we have a separate toilet, washroom. Sorry, yeah, toilet is not a nice expression in the States, is it? It's just us, so that it's a washroom, restroom. Beautifully fitted. The pan on the toilet, interestingly, to me anyway, is a swivel. So you can poke your legs whichever direction you fancy. Quite novel. And there's a door here, sorry, this side, that pulls across and turns the whole back of the van into a little separate apartment with its ensuite facilities. And a dirty great sunroof that literally winds up and over, so that's also for access to the outside. The dining table is very clever. It swivels, it can slide backwards and forwards on its single fixed leg. If you pull the right levers, that pops out. You can do that to it. So yeah, so there's a quick and dirty view of Ruby. I've got a few little jobs to get on with on her straight away, including one of the rear brakes is dragging just a little bit. You can hear ooh, ooh, ooh when you're driving slowly, which just irritates me too much to leave. As with most motor caravans, plenty of rattles and squeaks from the interior. She is, after all, 15 years old, so some detection work to do on that. But overall, really sound. And again, A-class motorhomes do tend to retain their looks and their condition quite well because the bodywork is generally completely rot proof, and they're value when new tends to mean they're quite well looked after. So there we are, a quick reveal of Ruby and a bye-bye to Betsy. And I hope you're all going to join with me in wishing her new owners well, and I bet they're going to have just as much fun as myself and Joe and Molly the dog have had with Betsy, and she'll be on her way as soon as the COVID restrictions allow its new owner to cross the border legally and take her back to the Highlands. I'm going to sign off on this one and say I will see you all very soon. News coming up on photo competition in the next few days. Some work to do on this, which I'll share with you, and really hoping I can get back to working on the seats in here on Purdy the XK8, because she looks very wrong with a seat missing, and I'll be back on that ASAP. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.